This is Inspirational Women, a weekly series shining the spotlight on female trailblazers making a true difference in our community. Once again, here is Kate Daniels.
Beatriz Victoria Albina is a nurse practitioner and life coach who provides more information on functional and integrative medicine and has a greater explanation in her book, Emotional Outsourcing. Beatriz Victoria Albina, I love to be able to say that. Your name feels so lyrical. So good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I deeply appreciate your being available to have what I know is going to be a good conversation and will provide us lots of opportunities for healing and planning and moving into a bigger, better life. Right?
I love that intention. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And now, as we go forward, I will referring to you, calling you Bea, which I think is also part of your beautiful name. You said it's like an endearment for Beatriz.
Yeah, it's like Kate to Catherine, Bea to Beatriz.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's lovely. It really does feel like a hug. It's just so gentle, right?
Oh, that's sweet of you. I really appreciate that.
So, actually what that makes me think of is the fact that with that being the case and the book that is new, your book and Emotional Outsourcing, they really do tie in together. There's a real connection between your name and the work that you do.
That's so sweet. My goal is always to bring more love, more care, and more compassion to difficult moments, challenging subjects, to the things that are potentially stressful and hard in one's life. My goal is always to bring more love. So I really appreciate you seeing that. Thank you.
It must be the case. I mean, there's then just the intuition about what that means, and you're living it.
I'm trying. I'm trying every day. Trying to do my best to be as tenderoni out here as a gal can, Tenderoni and well-boundaried, right?
Yes. And to that point, though, that's where your story as it integrates into the book and the healing that exists here, that this whole journey, it's not what was. It has been this journey of things weren't like that, but in your work, this is what you've created and what you've been able to do for yourself and thus want to share with us.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
And I appreciate that is the thing, I guess, with books. That's always been the case, that we have the opportunity. You're on the East Coast. We're out here on the West Coast. Here's really critical healing information. And because of the way that you've written the book, it's like we are with you. We have this journey because you give the opportunity with the questions, with this place to journal. I think we need a separate journal with it to use those prompts. But it is a way of really engaging with you and being able to then walk our journey and do our healing.
Yeah, that's the goal, is that the book is able to be a tool that people can actively use so that when they close the book, it wasn't just a theoretical moment, an ephemeral moment, gosh, I learned something next. But it rather is something that can actively be a partner in changing your life.
Mm-hmm. And I think this has worked in your own life, and it's taken time to transcribe into this. I think that you said this book has been a lifetime's work, right?
Yes, I started working on it on August 3rd, 1979. The day I was born.
Oh, wow.
Rainy Friday.
That totally makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
All of what happens in our life affects our life. And then you get to a point where then you say, okay, now I'm looking back to 1979 and incorporating this all into the story of where all the other things that have been and where I am and what's gone on for healing.
Yeah. Well, what was so true for me was that I was living out the habits that the book discusses, speaks to, and renames, which are codependent, perfectionist, and people-pleasing habits. But geez Louise, if you'd asked me if I identified with any of those words, you'd get a resounding no. I mean, codependent? No, I am a strong, independent woman of the 90s. Like, absolutely not. Get out of here. I went to Oberlin. No, right? Perfectionist? Oh, that's a big no, because I would mess up all the time. And people pleasing? Can I just tell you how many people were displeased with me? Right. I was working so hard to keep everyone happy but people pleasing? No. So for a lack of identifying with the common parlance, I wasn't getting help. And I started to see this in my friends, in my patients, in my clients, right? That people weren't getting the care they needed because the language, the semantics wasn't speaking to what was happening in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what even is codependence? I wasn't dependent on anyone. Oh, but is that okay with you? I'm sorry. Is that okay? Are you mad at me? I'm so sorry. Should I not have said that? Is that okay? Right.
Yes.
Right. And so I really sought to give new language based in love and care and compassion to what I see as profoundly a survival skill, right? That we start behaving in these ways because at some point it felt way smarter to do this than to show up in our authenticity.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then we suffer. Our body is not functioning as it should. Mm-hmm. But so often, some people sadly might cope with that or just endure it for their entire life. But no, you finally came to the realization of that understanding.
Yeah, I started to put the pieces together. And I sort of sat down to look at the manifestation of these three habitual ways of moving through life. And what I found at the middle of that Venn diagram was what I came to call emotional outsourcing. And coming to that understanding has been, and I don't mean to sound overwrought, but like profoundly liberating, because it's helped me to see just how smart little me was to come up with these ways of being, and how much I can truly celebrate her for getting me through, not just less scathed, but with medical degrees and fancy master, right? And all the accolades of life, which was what she was aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Because these behaviors are quite lauded in our society.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And therefore, too many of us then endure. Like, okay, I guess that's what expected. And we'll just keep on going.
And yes. And the other thing that happens when we're living from emotional outsourcing is that these habits, these patterns, these survival skills don't just live in the logical, conscious part of the brain. They're stored in implicit memory, procedural memory. So the brain's survival wiring, so they're encoded through the amygdala, the hippocampus, the vagus nerve, the stress hormone cascade. And so yes, we endure, but also our physiology keeps doing the same thing and the same thing and the same thing because it's what we've always done and it hasn't killed us yet. So let's keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
What else would I do? Say no? No, I could never do that. No. Unless we come, which often does happen to like a real major crisis. And hopefully that's the awakening sometimes. Sadly, It's not. But that's hopefully what happens. It happened for you to say, okay, brakes on here. I want to live life in a different way. Right. And it was really by coming into a really embodied, present understanding of interdependence, right? Which is when two creatures realize and recognize and honor one another's autonomy and interact with mutuality and reciprocity. Right? When I started to hear examples of that being possible in friends' relationships and their friendships and their lives in general, it just became really clear to me that was a way more, just fulfilling way of living than living in emotional outsourcing. Yeah.
And sadly, we grow up in that other kind of reality. That's what we learn. It's really part of our makeup.
For sure.
That we kind of revert back to until, yes, we can be somewhere where there is that healthy modeling for us, that we see something else is possible.
Yeah, it's, I have a podcast myself called
Yes.
Feminist Wellness. And I bring folks who've been through my programs on the show frequently to talk about their experience and to model what's possible. Because you're quite right. We don't even know, gosh, how could loving conflict look? How could a respectful conversation about boundaries look? How could it look to stand in my power, to know what I want? To know what I wanted, to speak it out loud, and to be okay if others disagree with it. Yikes. We don't even know what that could begin to look like. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to do a slight aside here with that. Just thinking of it in those terms. How many people are there in positions of power, various kinds of different power, that are stuck in that other way? Do not know how to communicate in a respectful, honoring, a clear way, and to accept differences of opinion. Just saying.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. I think what we really have on our hands is an epidemic of emotional immaturity. And that's really what we're dealing with here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Which comes from growing up in emotional outsourcing and living in emotional outsourcing and having nothing but it modeled for us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this comes as something that is really personal and healing for ourselves. And that's the first order of things we need to do, is to take care of ourselves. But then I do end up thinking about the responsibility once we are aware and we begin to do this, how important it is to do it, because we need to be that difference in the world. We need to be that model and show what's possible and, get that energy shifting, right?
Certainly. And so when I think of my definition of emotional outsourcing, which is when we chronically and habitually source our sense of the three vital human needs, safety, belonging, and worth, from everyone and everything outside of ourselves, instead of from within at a great cost to self, it helps me to understand that this comes, yes, from our family blueprint, and also from growing up under systems of oppression. So under the patriarchy, under white settler colonialism, under late stage capitalism. And thus, yes, healing the self is vital. And it is an act of collective healing to heal ourselves and to go off into our communities as a model, as you so perfectly said, and also as someone who's available to be a bystander witness and to intervene, to volunteer, to show up, to say this thing that's happening is not okay with me, and here's an alternative, so that we can provide safety, belonging, and worth to others, to support them and lift them up so that they can find it within themselves. And so we can do that without stepping into that martyr role that's so common, right? And instead can be of support to our communities and the collective from our overflow, from our energetic overflow, from our big full cups, and from our big open hearts. And so I think that's the work. We need to understand that codependency as a term comes from the war on drugs. That's where it comes from, the 12 steps, right? And I'm not coming for your sobriety. If those programs saved your life, I am so glad. As a nurse, I am so glad. What I'm talking about is my side of the road, right? Where codependency has been labeled as a disease, something you have to identify with. You are a codependent. No, thank you, right? And it means there's a defect in your character. Gosh. So then we're layering more shame and blame onto people who already feel shame and blame for simply existing, right? Which then feeds into what we learn in the patriarchy, white settler colonialism, and late stage capitalism, and just holds us all down so much more. So, I really appreciate your comment about being a model of what's possible for others. And it starts with liberating ourselves from the old stories and seeing the bigger picture, and that, my baby, you're not broken. You're perfection. And how smart was 6-year-old you to say, uh-oh, Mom's footsteps sound angry. So where's my A+ spelling test? I'm going to go show her. I'm going to put my real need to play, to be, to whatever, bottom of the barrel. I'm the eldest daughter. Let me woo her into being, let me manage someone else's emotions for the wellness of the family. Which is like, okay, that happened once, whatever. Kids are resilient, but when that's your whole life, it becomes who you are. And that's what we need to work to get to the other side of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look at you. You're so radiant.
Oh,
right?
Thank you.
And Bea.
Gosh. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. No, that's what I mean. It's that hug, Bea, being so radiant, I think.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this work has the potential to change so many lives. And it just, to sit here, and first of all, like, I can't believe I get to sit here and nerd out on this, because it makes me so happy to do so, to talk about the nervous system and somatics and psychology and how we live our lives. But just the thought of people reading this book, go buy it, get it from the library, whatever, and then turning and being kinder to their kid or their parent or the person at the gas company or the barista, and just that kindness and compassion rippling outward in a world that's so challenged. It's a small beacon of hope for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And an important beacon. So I think that can't be overstated, what an important beacon it is, because it is necessary. It's not, again, to impose a burden, but I think when the growth and that change is here and we feel that whole lightness and healing energy, then we can't help but share it and want to share it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because we really step into our agency. Right? This is so a core part of this work is stepping into intentionality. So when we go back to my definition of emotional outsourcing, we are chronically and habitually doing these things. We're doing it from an energy of unconsciousness, right? We're not actually present. We're not actually mindful. We're operating from old cassette tapes, right? And those cassette tapes probably aren't ours, right? Our parents and theirs and theirs and theirs learned the smartest way to be within their socio-political reality and their family structure. And so, mirror neurons, monkey see, monkey do. We do what the monkeys before us did. That's all we know, right? Yeah. And so when we start to shift those cassette tapes and put on a new soundtrack, we step into our power to be in choicefulness, right? And so one of the tools I teach is nervous system mapping. Yeah. So this awareness of our autonomic nervous system that allows us to say, oh, she said that, which sounded just like when my mom would get mad or my dad would whatever, and oh, my nervous system's getting activated. In the past, I would let it snowball because I didn't have any other skills. No one's blaming nobody, but I would just let it snowball. And then, my goodness, wouldn't I be screaming at the Wendy's gal? But instead, I'm feeling, oh, that catch in my chest, that means I'm 1 out of 10 steps towards freaking out. I know what to do. I'm going to tap my thumb on each of my fingers and say 1, and then my ring finger and say 2. And I'm going to slowly count my fingers till my nervous system calms down. And then I'm not going to scream at the PTA meeting, or I'm not going to take on more burden than I can at work, or I'm just going to do whatever it is that puts me into intentionality, which then opens up the possibility to be more compassionate, loving, and kind with myself and others.
Yes. So who wouldn't want that? Don't we? I mean,
listen, yes. I don't know. I don't think I want to meet him in a dark alley, though.
Too much light?
Listen, I think so.
Or joyful as you are, that it's effervescent in you, isn't it?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
But truly, isn't that so? I mean, it feels, looking at you, no one can see you as I am seeing you because we're on a Zoom connection for this. But really, there's this radiance, there's this effervescence you have, and that comes from that feeling inside. You can't help. Yeah. You can't just wear a mask like that. I mean, there would be telling signs. I mean,
there would,
right?
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite, you probably know this, is the Duchenne smile. where your eyes crinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that shows your nervous system is fully in the smile. I love that. But yeah, these days I do feel so much radiant joy in my life from the things I've built, from the habits I've let go, and from a steady practice of embodiment, of really taking the time and energy to locate my sense of self in myself and to come home to me so that I know my own little tells. Yeah.
Yes.
And it, like the other day, midday, I felt like really cold in my bones. It wasn't cold in the house, but that means I need a nap. That's weird. After, board certified licensed family nurse practitioner, that doesn't make science, but who cares? It makes me science. Right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. And it's those little things. Yeah.
It is. It is that self-awareness that we do gain through going through the steps and becoming more aware and in tune and noting those things. Like you were feeling cold. Sometimes we may feel like a clutching some here in our solar plexus or, shortness of breath. Now, okay, just taking a quick moment to analyze, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of time and learning, but we learned the other stuff. It's just that it happened day by day as we were kiddos. Now it takes intentionality.
Yes.
And the result is, like you, effervescence.
Thank you. Yeah. There's something about as I'm kinder to myself, it's easier and easier to be kind to others. And then as they're kind to me, then I feel better and I'm kinder to myself and then I'm kinder to them.
Yeah. Yeah. What a world.
What a world.
Yeah.
What a world. And from emotional outsourcing, we live this like tit for tat, right? This like resentment-based, irritation-based, annoyance-based, frustration-based existence.
Yes.
Right? Where I'd say 9 out of 10 of my clients have uttered the phrase, "and with all I do for you," repeatedly,
Yeah.
because we're not giving from our overflow. We're giving from obligation, from expectation, from has to, and not sure you want to, but do you really want to? Or do you feel like you have to? Right.
Yes.
And so, of course, we don't show up with our big open heart because we're too darn tired for living our lives from others, from hiding our authenticity, from playing the role of self, the role of mother, the role of teacher, of 1,000 things, but not the true role of self.
Yes.
And that's what I want to help us really reconnect with.
And so we have that excellent opportunity to do just that. Who doesn't want this? We all want to be in that kinder, gentler, fulfilling space. And with end emotional outsourcing, as I had said earlier, this is a way for us to be able to be with you and to go through the steps and the processes and the questions, journal, and gain that self-awareness. Besides, of course, your podcasts too. I think, with having some of the people that you've worked with share stories, we really learn so much from stories, that encouragement that exists.
Yeah. They give our whole self something to point towards, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the book, really important here. We can get it at, you were mentioning at our favorite bookstores or even go to the library. So that's a starting point. But I think this is one of those that you want to have your own copy so you can keep referencing it.
I would hope so. Yeah. And so you can write in it.
Yes.
I married a librarian, so don't write in the library books, folks.
Right.
Each of the chapters ends with a whole set of journaling questions that are really helpful to go through one by each and then reflect back on. Right. And see how your experience of you shifts over the course of reading the book.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's always a wondrous experience of seeing that, there has been transformation going on.
Yeah.
And that too is encouraging. But I think we begin to see how that shift internally really begins to be how others reflect back to us. Like you said, I'm kind to them, they're kind back to me, and then I'm kind again. And there's just kindness going round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we build more resilience for the moments when folks don't have access to their kindest part. And we can be loving and boundaried.
Yes.
Important combo.
Yes. Yes.
Compassionate kindness means good boundaries. They're resentment prevention.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And website on the socials?
Yes. Oh, yes. We're all over the place. So there's links to everywhere online to buy the book, including bookshop.org that connects you with your local family-owned independent bookstore on my website. And there's presents because I love presents. So if you head to Beatriz, which is Beatrice with a Z, albina.com/book, you can get all sorts. You can buy your book. Buy 10. I mean, why not? The holidays are coming.
Oh, exactly.
Listen, get a little stack of them. We're actually working with a number of different women's shelters. So if you did want to buy 10 to donate, we've got a whole program. And you can also get your free presents. There are tons of thank you gifts available.
Oh, how delightful. And I love the idea of having it with the women's shelters to help, because that's about the greatest gift we can give and help to make the change, and, the sky's the limit.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And you can find me on socials at my whole darn name. It's a lot. You ready? Beatriz Victoria Albina, NP for Nurse Practitioner.
Yes. Yes. So that's all perfect. And this is perfect as perfect can be. It's you sharing with us, but giving us this incredible opportunity to really be who we came here to be in this lifetime. And, it's never too late. It's never too early, but it's never too late. Those numbers do not count. When you do it, it's time. And then the rest of life is really just that effervescent experience.
Exactly. I had a 72-year-old in my program recently, and she said her whole life changed. Her husband wrote me a note saying she's a changed woman. So I've also had a 19-year-old in my program. So to your point, never too early to not get yourself in trouble, and it's never too late to pull you out of it. So
so perfect. Yeah. Well, you are just so delightful. I've so loved having this book. I love this time with you. And again, the encouragement to all of us to partake and be fully healed to the extent where they are at this time, and to live it in the world so we can be that change. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. This has been a delight, and I just so appreciate who you are and all that you are doing for us, Bea. Thank you for being here this morning to meet these special guests with their special personal stories that provide inspiration, along with a challenge for us to grow and embrace better physical and psychological health. Please check the station's website for the podcasts for more information about these guests, and please share the stories with your family and friends. I'm Kate Daniels, and if you'd like to connect with me, simply send me an email, katedaniels@hubbardradio.com. Now, as you go about your day, I hope that you find hope, find comfort, find healing.
Thank you for listening to Inspirational Women. Tune in every Sunday morning at this time to hear about those truly empowering the Northwest community, all for the greater good. Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women are a public service of Hubbard Radio Seattle.